What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the iTip Report. My name is Ava Ani, and this is where culture classics and commentary resides. Before you do anything, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. It is free. I would appreciate it. And also click on the notification bell so every time I upload, you will get notified. So I want to talk about the Jaguar Wright situation. First, I want to say shout outs to Jaguar Wright, because I have bought both of her CDs and she is a phenomenal artist. When you talk about high quality artists, that like an artist, a vocalist, a songstress, Jaguar Wright is in that pot to me. She is dope, and I feel like she didn't get the recognition that she deserves. And I love her, and I kind of like wonder, where has she been in all these years? But nevertheless, shout outs to her. I also want to say rest in peace to Malik B from The Roots. He was a founder. I did a recent video about him, and I'm just disappointed that I didn't get a chance to actually meet him, but his music has impacted me for a very long time. So I want to say that. Something you guys may not know is that I am a big lover of The Roots. Like, I love The Roots. I've loved The Roots crew from Philadelphia since 1995. You know, I've went out and supported them. So I subscribe to other people on YouTube, and one of my favorite channels is Thought Crimes. Shout out to Thought Crimes. I think it was a few days ago, something popped up. They did a video. I consider them like a podcast. I don't even consider them a YouTube channel. I think they're bigger than a YouTube channel, a basic YouTube channel. I just think they are just dope. They're a couple, and they don't conform to just regular commentary or just what everybody's doing. So shout out to Thought Crimes. This is one of the reasons why I decided to do this video, because I got like a highlight of the video from Thought Crimes. So Thought Crimes actually sent me over to Jaguar Wright. I haven't heard about Jaguar Wright in years, so I was curious to know like what is going on, because I looked at the video and I was like, that look like Jaguar Wright. And then it come to find out it was. So I went to Jaguar Wright's IG, and she had a video pretty much putting a lot of things out on the table in regards to her anger with, she felt that the Roots were not supporting the founder, Malik B, when he was alive, and just in generally, and the list goes on. So I'm the type of person, like, I like to watch a full video. If somebody is talking about something, I don't want to just get snippets, because a lot of times that's what happens in blogs and stuff. And for me, I really don't follow blogs, because I feel like they have a lot of trash talking, and you want to know the truth about certain things. So I watched the video, and honey, it was about 50 minutes or so. And when I tell you, my mouth dropped, like, I'm not surprised. And the reason why I tell you I'm not surprised is because I've worked in the music business. I know how people get down. I've had the reality of things. I haven't had the reality of major things as what she said in her video, but I'm not surprised. And I'm gonna direct this to the hip hop community, because I'm a hip hop head. I love music, but if you don't know, hip hop is my thing, like, especially high quality hip hop. So in this sense, she talked about the Roots, and she was just saying how they didn't look out for Malik B, and how they didn't pay Malik B like really well as they should, and just even take an interest into his health, you know, because of his addiction, you know. And I understand that, listen, a lot of artists, they have issues, they have addiction, they have stuff that they can't help, and addiction is one of them. And if you really care, like, I'm gonna say, like, if you're an artist or if you're an admirer, or if you're a friend of an artist, if you really care about them, you really need to check up on them mentally wise, and you also need to check up on them for health wise to make sure they're okay, because a lot of people really don't do that. It's like when you're in the music business, people just like grab it, especially if you have major talent. It's like they try to use you up and almost spit you out, and that's kind of what she was talking about. So she was saying that they didn't really treat Malik B well. And then, honey, she started talking about Black Thoughts and how he was cheating on his wife and she was sleeping with him. Now, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times you don't see people just coming out and saying what they did. A lot of times you see people coming out and saying what the other person did, but you have to take some notes when you see a person that's also going to expose themselves as well. That's how you kind of can tell. You know when someone's telling the truth and when they're not. And I'm going to tell you right now, I really believe that she's telling the truth about a lot of things, because I've heard stories. I'm not even going to get to what I've heard. And it's amazing how you can hear stories about your favorite MCs and they don't even know you. And you work in the music business and you just be like, okay. Because, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people, that like to mind their business, such as myself, you hear certain things and you're just gonna keep it moving. And I've heard stuff for years, guys, but I will tell you, I haven't heard a lot of the stuff that she was saying, but I've heard a portion of what she is saying. And I'm gonna tell you from a PR standpoint, they tell you in PR class and just in general in mass comm, if you keep hearing the same stuff over and over and it's consistent and it's the same story for years and years and years and years, they said 9 out of 10, it is the truth. It is the truth. So, she talked about, pretty much Black Thought. She talked about his different relationships and pretty much how the men in the hip hop community, they just use you until they can't use you no more. They use you for sex. They use you for gigs. They don't pay you well. Jaguar Wright said she wasn't paid well. I think the lowest amount she was paid was $500. I believe it because I've seen promoters do it. I've seen people do it and they just think nothing of it, and I know that they could pay more, but they just greedy. They don't care. They don't have no consideration, none of that. Jaguar Wright talked about Talib Kweli. He's not even of the Roots, but she just listen, she just talks about pretty much about every member of the Roots. And then from the Roots it went to Erykah Badu, and then it went to Jill Scott, and then it went to Common. The Common thing, that kind of surprised me. I haven't heard any crazy stories about Common, but that really surprised me. Then she talked about a little of Wu-Tang. I know, oh my God, I know so many artists right now that she talked about. They probably don't want to ever see her again, talk to her, have a conversation, or anything. What I will say is that in some form of fashion, I just wish that I wish that they all could actually get together and talk about what she said behind the scenes, like before she even got to that breaking point. But I think, and this is the thing that she said, people called her and said they was gonna call her back because unfortunately her son passed away. I'm sorry to even hear that. I didn't even know anything about that. But she's hurting, and you can tell that when someone's hurting, they just like had enough. And I just felt like when you feel like people don't care, or it's water over the bridge, or it don't matter, it's like sometimes you lose your breaking point, and I can understand why Jaguar Wright lost her breaking point or just went there. But I just wish that she would have, I wish it wouldn't have got to that point. I wish that if it did, it would have been behind the scenes where you could sit down and talk to people. But I understand in her situation that a lot of these artists, you can't really talk to them because they have egos. They're very ego driven, very power, very controlling, don't want to have accountability. Let's talk about that. They don't want to be accountable for their actions. And for me personally, working in the business, I've had a serious problem with that, like accountability. That's one thing I could tell you, that if I do something wrong, I could be accountable for my actions. I could say, you know what, I am sorry for hurting your feelings. I am sorry for if I feel like I did something to you that was wrong. I am sorry, or I could tell you why I did it. Even if it was wrong or right, I could tell you. But a lot of artists, they will, and I'm gonna say this mainly to the hip hop community, they will act like it's you. They will act like you're the problem, it's something wrong with you. And you know what? For certain people, it's very small cases. It could be the problem, but 9 times out of 10, it's not always you. You know, I feel like a lot of artists, they just can't really sit down and talk, and they have a lot of emotions and some feminine ways, and they not even a woman. It's just like, it's just too much. So it's like, people don't understand when you treat people wrong, it affects them. It affects them good. It affects them bad. And if it, like in Jaguar Wright's case, it's really bad because it's like there's no healing from that. And I seen in that video that she did, I was just like, yo, she's really, really hurt. Because when you come out and you're passionate and you just talking and you saying everything that happened about, you know, your career and what's going on in your life and the people you've dealt with, that's hurt. And that's not good. I hope overall, guys, that somebody from the Roots, as well as Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Common, that somebody needs to call her and really meet her face to face and really sit down and hash out all those things. If not, okay, you move on, but don't expect that don't expect that the public won't hear more stuff if it's not hashed out. Something happened to the point, like, it was extreme, that she just went off. Jaguar Wright went off. And I feel for her. You know, she talked about Flo Brown. If you guys, I need to do a video on Flo Brown. You know, Flo Brown was a dope MC. I think I heard a Flo Brown tune, a song on Jazzy Jeff's one of his albums, and she was fire. I always wonder what happened to Flo Brown. Jaguar Wright did the live and she talked about Flo Brown. She kind of, to a certain extent, I would say allegedly, and I want to say allegedly, seemed like Flo Brown got assaulted. I don't even want to go there and say something else because I don't really know what happened. Something happened that Jaguar Wright really couldn't talk about. But Flo Brown, when I tell you, was so tight. If you are a lover and an admirer of female MCs, you need to check out Flo Brown's stuff. I wonder where she is. I want to hear Flo Brown's story. I'm in total shock. I was in total shock about hearing about that. But she talked about her, and let me tell you something. Jaguar Wright, she's not the only one. It's a lot of women out here who have been hurt, assaulted, traumatized, you know, like some serious, like traumatized, raped. The list goes on. But yo, it hurt me to hear. It was her. Jaguar Wright's commentary was like, hearing it was hurt. I was hurt that Jaguar Wright was hurt, and I've never met Jaguar Wright in my life. But on certain extents, like when I say certain things, like the disrespect, I can relate to. I have rules, you know, as far as myself working in the music business. It's just certain things you should not do. Point blank. You shouldn't date MCs. You shouldn't date producers unless you really know. I'm not saying love is a bad thing or whatever, but you gotta be adult about it. And a lot of times, a lot of these artists are not adults. They look like adults, but they not. Certain rules should be, like, you should have rules. Being a woman, unfortunately, in this business, you should have rules about what you won't do and what you will do. Because I'm telling you, if you follow those rules, you will not get caught up. And I'm not saying because she didn't follow rules or she didn't have rules or whatever the case. Sometimes shit just happens. It just happens. You don't even think somebody's going to cross the line. So trust me when I say the situations that she said happened to her, she didn't deserve it. Nobody deserves that. Even with Malik B, nobody deserves the negative stuff that happened to them. But let's be real, guys, and I don't think fans, you guys really know, things happen. These artists, not all of them, but a majority of them, they're not nice people. They have mental health issues. They've been done wrong. You know the saying, and she said this in her video, Jaguar Wright, hurt people hurt people. They don't know how to love. They don't know how to appreciate things. They don't know how to give. They don't know how to be considerate. They don't know how to be respectful. A lot of women in the music business get disrespected. I've experienced it. I haven't experienced it like she have, but I've experienced it. I've been called a principal. I've been called a bitch. I've been called just like private and not sharing everything with everybody. You know, I'm telling you, it's rough. It's really rough. If you worked in the music business, I guarantee you, and you're a woman, everybody has a story. They all have stories. We all have stories. Unfortunately, I don't have a story. And I'm not saying like unfortunate, meaning I don't have a story like that. Because her story, like when you go through stuff with a client, with the artist, or just labels and everything, and do you think that shit is like bad and horrifying? And then I listen to Jaguar Wright, and it's other people that I know, other women that I know, especially black women. You listen to their story, you be like, yo, my story ain't nothing like yours. I feel even worse for you. Yo, Jaguar Wright even talked about Talib Kweli, and that kind of shocked me. She said Talib Kweli used to be in the dressing room, hiding, watching her and probably other women. This is allegedly, and I have to say allegedly, but it's from Jaguar Wright's mouth, while they was changing clothes. If that ain't some pervert stuff, pervert. If that ain't some, could you imagine? Excuse me. And then I saw something in regards to Talib Kweli. I don't know. He was harassing a model, and she's suing him. Honey, I was like, I didn't want to believe it. And I met Talib Kweli, like just in like a record store, just passing by, you know, at a release or whatever. And, you know, he was nice, hi, bye, and that's it. And I didn't want to believe that. I was like, what? So then I go and look at the picture of the model. And I'm like, son, you probably was harassing her. Beautiful woman, beautiful black woman. I was like, you was probably harassing her. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at the, this is just like off of it, but if you look at Talib responded and was talking and how he's talking, you like, wait a minute. You don't even talk like this when you're on a record. You talk with a lot of power and initiative, and the way you're talking, like you're guilty. Yo, it's disappointing. It's disappointing to just hear a lot of stuff about all your favorite artists, because the majority of, pretty much everything, every artist Jaguar Wright listen to, I have supported them and bought their music, from the Roots to, you know, Erykah Badu, to Jill Scott, Common, Talib Kweli. It's sad. I felt hurt over this. I was like, oh my goodness, it's sad. I just hope that somebody from the Roots, all the people that she mentioned, I hope somebody just make a statement, say something. Say something. You know, it's always, they said it's two sides to the story. It's two sides of a story. You have this side, you have Jaguar Wright side, you have their side, you have the God honest truth. Well, it's three sides. But in the middle is the truth. You got this side, that side is truth. But I need for the Roots to make a statement. And when I say make a statement, not a PR statement, because you can tell from a PR statement and the truth statement. Like a real down-to-earth statement. Yo, 2020, guys, is like some years. I think this is the year of 20 of a bunch of exposing, and I'm like, not into exposing folks. I want to know the truth about folks, so then you can just be clear where they stand and see how they are and stay away from them. But honey, this was a lot. And I think this is not even over unless something else happens. Maybe people will start acting like adults. Like, this is not over. But I heard this and I was just like, oh my God. And I'm gonna tell you guys, it's been situations where I've met some, not a lot, but some of my favorite artists, and I never want to hear their music again. Or when you start realizing how they are as a person. I can give y'all a list, but I'm not gonna go there. You realize that they are not accountable. That's what it all runs down to it. Like, they not saying nothing. They're not making no statements. They act like they didn't do anything. They're in denial. It's all you. Like, I've come to the point when I meet artists, my favorite artists, you find out they like that, I can't listen to their music no more. You know? I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I hope overall with this Jaguar Wright situation, I hope she can heal from this. I want her to heal from this. And you want to say make amends, but I think so many things, she's been hurt by so many things, as well as so many women out there in the music business, especially in the underground scene, the backpack scene. Sometimes it's like no coming back from. But I hope that she gets healing from that. But it's a disappointment. Me personally, I will tell you guys, I like receipts. I like to see some proof. But sometimes from back then to now, certain things you might not have proof of, or you might not even thinking about that because you just like so in shock. If the person disrespect you or just cross the line with you, you're not even thinking about that. But with her commentary in that video, Jaguar Wright, I believe her. Unless I can hear or see some receipts, something where will change my mind, but she didn't seem like she was lying at all. She didn't. Let me tell you guys, women, we have to be safe and we have to protect our neck, as well as men. It's not just all women either, but you know, unfortunately, women get the most assaults, the most rape, all of that. Disrespect, they get it way more than men when it comes to music business and all of that. But gotta do better. Gotta do better. But I like to overall, guys, this was like a shocking, it was like shocking, but at the same time I wasn't surprised, because it's a lot of artists that I know of or know who have did some really disrespectful stuff, including underground labels and stuff like that, and they're not nice. So anyway, guys, if you don't know who Jaguar Wright is, march on over to IG, type in Jaguar Wright, follow her. Tell her Avani sent you. She's a dope artist. I hope that she can heal from this. And I hope that we get some answers from somebody. You know, if you don't know who Malik B, rest in peace to Malik B. Check out his music. Research him online. You know, rest in peace to him. My condolences to his family. If you are a woman that is in management, PR, stylist, the list goes on, vocalist, R&B, please protect yourself. Please have rules. And I say this strongly. If you work in the music business, do not fuck around. Do not let your heart get in the way of your business. Do not cross the line with dating artists and dating people in the music business, unless you guys are serious and you are adults and you need to keep it private. Because what I notice is when you are new meat or you are some type of appealing woman, and as well as just smart and all of that, people want to know who you are. They want to know who you're having sex with. They want to know who you've been with, all of that. And trust me when I tell you, when they find out that you haven't been with the whole block and you have rules, they don't like your ass. They're going to be calling you all types. You're going to piss them off. That's how you protect your heart. That's how you protect your mind. You have to have rules. And I tell every woman that works, I don't care who you are, what nationality, you have to have rules. And you have to focus on the work and do what you got to do. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm not against power couples, as they would say. I kind of stopped saying power couples, but you know, people that really have real love and they really care about each other and they work in the music business and they actually make it work. Like, I'm not against that, but if you know you're gonna be doing crazy stuff, keep it business. I hope everybody gets healing from this. But anyway, guys, like this video, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts. Do you believe Jaguar Wright went through the situations that she went through? Do you believe her story? Have you watched the video in full? I would suggest before you comment to watch the video in full, because don't watch snippets, because you might get the wrong impression. You know? Do you believe Common did what he did allegedly? Do you believe Talib Kweli, what she said about him? Do you believe about how the Roots treated Malik B? Rest in peace to him. I want to know your thoughts on this. Only reason why I'm doing this video is because I've experienced disrespect from men in the music business. You know? But I know how to fight back. I know how to argue. I know how to walk away. I know how not to. I know my worth. So I just want to know your thoughts on that. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace, and this is Ava Ani. Sorry that this video was so long.